Friends, one of the issues that we have at the Quadrennial Annual Conference is the whole decorum or the good manners that we need to try to hang on to in the midst of an election process at church. Simply in our local churches, we're not used to people competing for a job. Usually we have to go out and recruit. Now we've got people competing here. What's going on and how do I deal with this? People have been sending out postcards, letters, brochures, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. How do we deal with that in a church process? Well, just remember that, let me just give you a few points to think about. First, a story. Up in North Carolina, a couple of elections ago, a woman went to the microphone. Bishop Cameron was presiding, and the woman went to the microphone and said, I'm just terribly frustrated by all this. As you expect me to write down the names of people to vote for? This is my first time at annual conference. I don't know any of these people. How can I vote for them if I don't know them? There's been no provision for me to meet them, learn about them, nothing. And yet you expect me to cast a ballot for these people. It's just terrible. This is not the way to do it. And the woman stomped out of the annual conference. Now, the need for information drives the nature of what we're about here. So we really do need information, and we want to get that information out in some reasonable way. So the use of freedom of speech to promulgate information and to distribute it, and yet it doesn't cost the church a lot of money to do that. These are some of the tensions that we deal with. In addition to the normal competitiveness of various theological positions, various positions on human sexuality, various positions on church administration, and the normal tensions that we might feel in a process that involves a budget of $400 million per quadrennium and affects the lives of 8 million United Methodists. So there's a competitiveness and an urgency that are involved. Just be aware that when I first became involved in the general election process back in 1984, there was no brochures, there was no forum, there was no speeches, nothing of that existed. And if you didn't have some presence on the stage, you simply had no opportunity whatsoever to be elected. What we do today is far different, and it's different because of the competitiveness that has existed in the years. I first mailed out a brochure and was elected back in 1988. And since that time, other people have begun to mail out brochures. That led to the creation of the book that you have, where everybody gets to put 300 words and their picture into a book so that there's a level playing field. We began to, the United Methodist Men really began to sponsor forums and invite candidates to come and speak and invite delegates to come and listen. And that led to the whole idea of the Board of Laity being involved in the speeches. And so you have a chance to see the booklet with all the candidates listed, to hear the speeches of every candidate. And of course, we all enjoy freedom of speech, and you have the opportunity to get more detailed information now through brochures, through websites, through telephones. All of those kind of things exist, and we enjoy the information that brings us while we struggle with the decorum and the ability to do church in what we consider a respectful, traditional way. So if we do everything right, there's not any handing out of literature here within the confines of the auditorium. All that's restricted to the outside of the building and the specific areas, the rooms and the tables within the building where that information is available. But we struggle with the respect for freedom of speech. We struggle with the respect and need for informed voters. We feel like those of us who have seen what's happened in other annual conferences, who know the frustrations that exist in other annual conferences, feel very good about and able to say that the North Georgia voter is the most informed voter within our connection. I don't know of any other annual conferences who do as much to keep our voters informed as are done by the candidates and by the processes through the Board of Laity that occur here in North Georgia.